So you have gotten to see several different areas of our house. So this is actually the boys' room, and I am going to be reading about Jesus being born. And so all this time we've been reading about the beginning. Since day one, we read about the terrible lie and how Satan had crept into the garden and how he had deceived Adam and Eve. Now we're going to hear about God's ultimate plan that he had to rescue us sinners, me too. So I'm going to start reading. So this comes out of Luke 1 and 2. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help his people, just as he promised in the beginning. Remember in the beginning when we read in the garden. But how would he come? What would he be like? What would he do? Mountains would have bowed down, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, he came in, and when no one was looking, in the darkness he came. So this is a picture of the world in Bethlehem, which is where we're about to read about Jesus being born. There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. Joseph was the great-grandson of King David. Remember when we talked about King David and how his great-grandson, or no, we talked about Abraham. That's the story we read when Abraham was called, and we talked about how his great-grandson, and that was David, and David's great-grandson was, so it's very cool, the line of Jesus. One morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly a great warrior of light appeared right there in her bedroom. He was Gabriel, and he was an angel, a special messenger from heaven. When she saw the tall, shiny man standing there, Mary was frightened. "You don't need to be scared," Gabriel said. "God is very happy with you." Mary looked around to see if perhaps he was talking to someone else. "Mary," Gabriel said. And he laughed with such gladness that Mary's eyes filled with sudden tears. "Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy. You will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. He is the one. He's the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and kept them whirling around and round. The God who made the universe with just a word. The one who would do anything at all. Was making himself small and coming down as a baby." Wait, God was sending a baby to rescue the world? "But it's too wonderful," Mary said, and felt her heart beating hard. "How can it be true? Is anything too wonderful for God?" Gabriel asked. So Mary trusted God more than what her eyes could see, and she believed. "I am God's servant," she said. "Whatever God says, I will do." So here's the angel talking to Mary. And Mary says, "I am your servant. I will do anything and everything you tell me to do." Isn't that amazing? Sure enough, it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now, Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem, the town King David was from. But when they reached the little town, they found every room was full. Every bed was taken. "Go away," the innkeeper told them. "There isn't any place for you." Oh, my phone was, I thought it was about to die, but we're good. "There isn't any place for you." Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. They couldn't find anywhere except an old, tumble-down stable. So they stayed where the cows and the donkeys and the horses stay. So here's Mary going to Bethlehem with her baby belly. She's got baby Jesus in that belly. And there in the stable, among the chickens and the donkeys and the cows and the quiet of the night, God gave the world his special gift. The baby that would change the world was born. His baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw and used the animals' feeding trough as his cradle. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and laying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us, because of course he had. So here's baby Jesus wrapped up in the manger. So, at Christmas time, you got to celebrate Jesus being born, and you probably heard some awesome stories about when he was born, just like the one we just read. And those are true stories and so awesome to hear. So right now we're getting to celebrate the end of Jesus's life, Easter. And so over the next week, we're going to be reading some more stories about when Jesus was living on earth and what his life was like. So thank you for joining us on this journey, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.